The Greyhound, an ancient breed associated with Egyptian pharaohs, Greek mythology, and royalty.
As a member of the Sighthound group, Greyhounds are the most athletic breed best known for their ability to sprint short distances in organized races faster than any other land animal except the cheetah.
The sport of greyhound racing was developed in the United States and is governed by the National Greyhound Association. Each year, thousands of greyhounds are born through careful breeding, taking into consideration the bloodlines of both the sire and dam. As with any sport, the competition is fierce, and many greyhounds don't have a future in racing. This is where adoption groups such as the Greyhound Adoption League of Texas step in and help transition these greyhounds into retirement to a loving home.
Part of GALT's mission is to educate the public on the retired racing greyhound as a family pet. They're a wonderful companion, fiercely loyal, and once they're in a home environment, their personalities really begin to blossom.
Greyhounds in retirement are known to be fanatics over squeaky toys, soft plush beds, and even your couch. While life at the track is serious business, retirement is all about relaxing, which has earned them the nickname 45-mile-an-hour couch potato. Every year, over 200 greyhounds are transitioned to their forever homes by GALT. Most of these greyhounds are in good health and ready for adoption. However, each year many greyhounds come to GALT needing medical attention. Some years are more challenging than others.
The reasons for being on GALT's injured reserve list vary, but over the past 5 years, these top 3 reasons have led the way. A broken leg at a cost of $3,500 per greyhound, heartworm at a cost of $2,800 per greyhound, and tick-borne diseases at a cost of $1,500 per greyhound.
Greyhounds begin their racing career around 2 years old and are retired by the time they are 5 years old. The most common injury for a racing greyhound is a broken leg, and it immediately ends their racing career very early in their lives.
Greyhounds can live to be as old as 14 years, which is unusual for a large breed, so they still have a lot of life left in them when the injury occurs.
Majority of the broken legs heal within 3 months, and they're ready to begin their search for their forever home. Some of the breaks are so severe that amputation is necessary to maintain their quality of life.
GALT is one of the few organizations that will take on the major medical care required for this type of injury and is able to do so because of the generous contributions from our donors. In Texas, 2 of the top diseases an animal can contract are tick-borne diseases such as Ehrlichia and Babesia, and heartworms from an infected mosquito. But with proper monthly preventative routines, most animals will never contract these diseases. And while the monthly expense for this preventative is reasonably priced for 1 or 2 animals, when the number of the animals you are caring for are in the tens or the hundreds, it becomes very expensive. And the preventative becomes a burden to the caregiver and is discontinued, putting the animal's health at risk. GALT has taken in several groups of greyhounds in this exact situation.
One case in particular was with the Fort Worth Animal Control, where 29 dogs of various breeds, including greyhounds, were found by the FWAC in the backyard of a house in Fort Worth. The owner was keeping them in small pens with little to no food or water. They were exposed to the elements. All of them were malnourished, emaciated, and covered in fleas and ticks. Immediately, 8 of the greyhounds were delivered into GALT's care, with 1 or more to follow several days later. All of them required round-the-clock care and monitoring. Hundreds of fleas and ticks were removed from the greyhounds.
The first couple of days were critical as we were uncertain of their condition. As the days went by, all of the greyhounds' health began to improve, and their personalities began to emerge. 4 of the greyhounds, Braden, Pudge, Rachel, and Martin, began to develop symptoms such as lack of appetite, listlessness, a fever, and a cloudy discharge from their nose. Strong antibiotics were administered, but they were no match for the neurological disease that had taken hold of them, distemper. As volunteers continued to watch over the greyhounds, GALT also provided the FWAC and the district attorney with updates of the greyhound's condition, which is enough to bring charges against the owner.
For Braden, Pudge, Rachel, Martin, and countless others, we ran out of time. They have served as a reminder in our hearts that our work is never done, and that our mission of no gray turned away is as strong and steadfast as it was that day in 2001 when GALT was born. Since that time, GALT has helped over 2,150 Greyhounds find their forever home.
It's such a rewarding experience to help these wonderful dogs find true happiness for the rest of their days and to see the impact they have on everyone around them.
Another Greyhound that has made a big impact on the Greyhound community is Spot, affectionately known as GALT's blind spot.
Spot came to GALT directly from the track in Lamarck, Texas. At only 2 years old, he had recently experienced a very high fever and poor appetite, but responded to medication and seemed to recover. Several weeks later, he suddenly lost his sight. For a sight hound, this is devastating as it is their keenest and most developed sense. GALT received the call from the trainer and, true to our mission, brought Spot to Dallas to begin his journey to a loving home. Extensive testing was done by our wonderful team of veterinarians. It was determined that his blindness was the result of a central brain condition and was irreversible. After a couple of months, Spot began to experience intermittent nosebleeds. The reason for the nosebleeds was never confirmed, and they have thankfully stopped. During this time, Spot developed a tumor on his right hock. Due to the location and the type of tumor, it was hoped that it would reduce in size on its own. Instead, it grew rapidly and had to be removed with a short hospital stay due to excessive bleeding. Now known as GALT's blind spot, Spot quickly adapted to his blindness and is living happily in a home with 5 other Greyhounds. Without the support of our donors and sponsors, we would not have been able to give Spot the special medical attention that he required.
The Greyhound Adoption League of Texas would like to say thank you to all of you because it is your generous contributions and support that enables GALT to continue its mission of no gray turned away.